Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about the airport and airline procedure etiquette if you have not yet flown on a plane. So first of all, don't forget to subscribe below and like this video if you like it. And yeah, number one on the list, if you are buying a ticket, no matter if you buy it on Expedia, through a travel agent, through the airline website itself, I would personally recommend a travel agent or the airline website itself, but people do what people want to do. Number one, you will want to go to the airline website. Even, for instance, if you bought it on Expedia, it is going to show up. If you bought it through Delta, right, it's going to be on the Delta website because it's their flight. So go there, sign up for an account, and you're going to start wanting to collect the loyalty points. Also, if you did not select your seats when you bought your tickets, then you'll want to do that there as well. Number two is going to be to download that airline's app as well. That app is not only going to give you access to everything about your flight. I know so many people that still print out a paper copy of their itinerary, but those itineraries change and you could be at the wrong gate, you could, all that kind of stuff. So download the app, you'll have the most updated everything. And one of the other things about downloading the app is usually they have entertainment services on there. So you can watch movies and TV shows and stuff while you're flying, which I would absolutely recommend because I can't just sit somewhere for 3 hours staring at the back of a seat. I have to do something like that. I don't even bring a book anymore because all airlines pretty much have this. So the other part of that is you'll want to download something called the GoGo app, and it's spelled just like that, G-O-G-O. And what that is, some airlines use that for their entertainment. So those are the two things that you'll want to download before you get on your first flight. All right, number two is luggage. Airlines right now will allow a piece of luggage and then a personal item as well. So as people will bring a roller and then like a purse. Don't bring more than that. It is one of my biggest pet peeves when somebody has like a roller and then like a giant backpack, because that's not what's allowed. It's usually just like a backpack and a purse or something. Usually I bring a backpack and a purse. I have some personal issues about bringing luggage on an airplane. I won't get into, but I do check my luggage every single time. And I have a sort of hack for that, is that I have a credit card for pretty much every airline. You don't even have to use it. Usually they'll give you free luggage if you just own that credit card. So you will have luggage that you can check, and then you can bring two items on a plane, one which is a small personal item. So when you get to the airport, you will want to check in with the counter. They will either print out a paper boarding pass or you can use the app, like I said previously, and they will tell you, everything about your flight and check your ID and all that kind of stuff. If you are not checking luggage, you technically don't have to check in at the desk. You can just check in on your app, usually about 24 hours in advance. Security is a pretty straightforward process, and you are going to have to go through it. If it's your first flight, I'm going to guess you don't have TSA pre-check. So when you go through security, you're going to have to take all your electronics out of your bag. You're going to have to take your coat off, your shoes off, and then kind of whatever else they ask you to do that day. They're going to check your ID and your boarding pass. Security can take a different amount of time depending on the time of day, depending on the airport. Some airports, I've stood in line in security for up to 4 hours. So just make sure that you're doing some research on your airport in advance to kind of see how long it's going to take, and make sure you get there that early. And don't trust it if somebody says, oh, it's only 15 minutes. Like, I don't ever trust that, because I would say an hour or two is generally the minimum of how long you're going to have to stay in security. All right, you get on the airplane and you are about to take off. This can be a very unnerving process, especially if it's your first time on a plane. My first time on a plane, I think I was like 9 or 10. And so for me, I was like, oh, this is fun. It's like a ride. And then you realize that there's no safety procedures. There are. But it's, as I've gotten older, I've found myself more and more afraid of planes for absolutely no reason. I actually did another video on the science of flying and how it really has helped me actually be less afraid of planes, because just the chances of something happening, knock on wood, are just so small. And really, it's such a routine thing. It happens thousands of times every day. I saw something about 6 million people fly every single day, and they're fine. So just think that when you take off, it is going to seem unnatural, but you will be going up in the air. There may be some bumps, but it is a totally natural process. Once you get to 10,000 feet, they are going to make an announcement saying, hey, we're at 10,000 feet. And that's when you can pull out any bigger electronics like your computer and iPad, things like that. You can have your phone out the whole time. But do not get up and try to use the bathroom until they turn off the fasten seatbelt sign, because sometimes people think at 10,000 feet they can do that, and that's not necessarily true. Once you're in the air, it's, again, a pretty routine process. Most airlines don't provide meals anymore unless, I mean, the last time I had a meal, I think it was an 8-hour flight. And even then, sometimes it's not much. So don't expect a meal. Most every flight will have drink service. I swear, I feel like if a flight's less than an hour, like, I don't need a drink. Don't do the work and bring me a drink. I swear this is like my new thing, because I'll be on a flight that's like 45 minutes and they're rushing through and I'm like, great, I got this much Sprite, you know, and that was, you could have spent your time better served for the flight attendants. I don't know. But they will bring you drinks pretty much no matter what, unless there is some turbulence. But, and then they will, sometimes you get a snack like pretzels or peanuts or something like that. And usually if the fasten seatbelt sign is off, you can get up and use the bathroom. If you are seating though, you want to keep your seatbelt on. There was a recent flight to Hawaii where we saw people that were sitting did not have their seatbelt on, and the turbulence got really bad and they got hurt. So you know what, it's not really a big deal to have your seatbelt on. So just do that. And then in landing, again, feels very unnatural. It feels like something we shouldn't be doing as humans, but we are doing it. They will tell you when you need to sit down, put your seatbelt on, and you will just start to go down very slowly. Most airlines, most pilots will make it so you don't even really notice the landing. But sometimes lately I've been noticing, especially because I do sometimes get a little bit nervous, is that sometimes they'll go down really fast and I'm like, why are we doing that? But it's totally safe and totally routine. And if you do hit turbulence, my recommendation for you is look at the flight attendant. If they are not looking nervous at all, I don't feel nervous. I was on this flight one time, probably the worst flight I've been on, where the air was completely clear and blue and beautiful, and we had turbulence for 3 hours straight. And it was a little nerve-wracking, you know, like, what's going on here? But really, turbulence is such a natural thing, if you really learn the science of it, that there is not a whole lot of chance of anything happening. I gotta knock on wood. But so just remember that, and maybe do some research in advance if you're a little bit nervous about that. What I will say about flying, though, is it opens up the world for you, literally opens up the world for you, because that's how you get places faster. And once you start traveling, you realize, oh my gosh, I have to spend 12 hours on an airplane, and it seems terrible, but it's like, but then you realize you're on the other side of the world, and it's like, wow, what an amazing invention we created as humans, you know? So it is a pretty amazing thing. I would recommend, if you have not flown, definitely to start flying. You can do short trips and then kind of make it longer and longer and longer. But once you're in the air, you'll realize it's really not that scary, and it is, like I said, pretty routine. So let me know if you have any questions about any of this, and don't forget to subscribe and comment below and like this video, and let me know if you want to see anything else next time.